So why does it seem like a lot of Terrence Crawford supporters is on Errol Spence's helmet, man? Well, the reason why we are on Errol Spence's helmet the way we are is not because we hate Errol Spence. I repeat, we don't hate Errol Spence. You can differentiate the ones that hate Errol Spence and the ones that actually do want to see him do good and support him. I'm not one of them dudes. I don't hate Errol Spence. We look, you like I said, go check my channel. I bigged him up. I always talk about him, and I say he a great fighter, he a phenomenal fighter. But I also give Terrence Crawford. I used to give him some hell too, because there was a lot of shit Terrence Crawford was saying, and I didn't like it, and I didn't appreciate it, and I was like, all right, bro, you acting real suckerish now. And this is me talking about Bud. But when everything starts clarifying itself, from my point of view, I start looking at it much different. Like, okay, it looks like both of them, they both said some flip-floppish things. Errol Spence hasn't been, his energy towards Bud is not really the same as other folks. But then on some notes, you'll hear Errol say he's going to take Crawford's belt. I actually heard him say that out of his mouth. It was an interview he was doing. I forgot who it was he was doing an interview with. He was signing gloves, and he did say he was going to take Terrence Crawford's belt. Actually came out of his mouth and said that. And then there's times where I just think Terrence Crawford was kind of indirect, and then there's times where Terrence Crawford was being direct. So it's like, I don't know, man. Sometimes you can't tell with these dudes sometimes, but reason why we on Errol Spence's helmet the way we are is because a lot of you Errol-sexuals and the fanboys aren't holding him accountable for the stuff that he's been doing, his behavior, or like him going back and forth, or him saying he's playing about 70-30 and all this other stuff. And then when he said it on another interview, it sounded like he was serious. You know what I mean? Not the one when he was, I believe he said that more than one time. You know what I mean? So that's why. And then you got dudes, I'm gonna start saying names, man. I'm just gonna start saying names. And you got dudes like Blue Blood Sports TV. He making lives talking about Terrence Crawford never called out Errol Spence directly, which is a lie. Then somebody was up there and they actually told him that's bullshit. Then when they called him out on that, he tried to switch it up and say, well, show me one video where Terrence Crawford called out Errol Spence directly after a fight. I'm like, bro, he called him out after the Sean Porter fight. He said if Errol get his tail out his ass and fight him, that's what he said. But to these dudes, that's indirect. You know what I mean? And then there's times when Bud said, yeah, I want to fight Errol Spence. I don't want to fight Sean Porter. I want to fight Errol Spence. He said this. Why does it have to be after a fight? Does it fucking matter? You know what I mean? As long as he said it, he called him out, that's it. But nonetheless, with that being said, a lot of you Errol Spence supporters, y'all don't hold your boy accountable, man. Now, there was some truths that you guys were able to prove with Errol Spence, but then there was also a lot of lies, and there's a lot of shit that you held up. You upheld a lot of stuff he was saying and doing, and you try to be dismissive of it, and in turn, the same shit if Terrence Crawford. So we all know through the grapevine that it's being said that Terrence Crawford is supposed to sign a 2-fight deal with the PBC, and everybody's trying to figure out what are those 2 fights. Is it going to be Danny Garcia, then Errol Spence? Is it going to be Keith Thurman, then Errol Spence? Or is it just going to be somebody that, they're going to pull somebody up from the rankings or something and feed him to Bud, then Errol Spence? So as far as hating on Errol Spence, hating on his accolades and all of that, ain't nobody over here doing that, bruh. Ain't nobody hating on that dude. As far as accolades, a lot of us, we acknowledge his accomplishments, but he just ain't do much, man. He's only been in one division, man. You gotta be honest with yourselves, man. He's only fought in one division. I mean, he's fought at 154 a few times. I believe it was a few times he did, but he's only been champion in one division. So we acknowledge that, but we're not gonna make it seem like this guy is just this Hall of Famer dude or something like that, because he's not, man. So y'all stop that shit, man. So all of the reasons why we ride Errol Spence's helmet, now you know the reasons, man. So there you go. Anyway, I'm off this. Y'all make sure y'all like, y'all make sure y'all subscribe, y'all make sure y'all support the channel. I'm gonna catch y'all later. The next one, you know what time it is. And I'm out.